Where do I start? First of all, I have to give it to them. They have incredible talent right now. Um, just look at the members of Fortune: AJ Styles, Kazarian, Beer Money. I have to say, out of if I could pick four guys or any guys out of TNA that have never been in the WWE before and have them go over there and be successful, and by successful I mean at least be upper mid card guys, I would have to say it's the guys in Fortune. Especially AJ and Kaz. I think AJ could make it in the main event. Kaz, I think, would be more of an upper mid card guy. Maybe get some matches, but not necessarily win any titles, world titles. I mean. Anyway, back to the talent in TNA. Great talent. And then, of course, there's the whole everyone's talking about. It's like WCW all over again. You have the older guys coming in, Flair, Hogan, Bischoff, and trying to relive their heyday. Um, I I believe this. I think that they should be focusing a lot more on the talent. And one thing that is really starting to annoy me with TNA is that they have constantly these huge groups, these huge stables. Before it was main event mafia. It was always something. Whenever one ended, always a new one would begin. Now you have Fortune, you have the Immortals, you have all of this going on. Huge stables. I think it's unnecessary. The WWE went a while without any really, big stables. You had DX come back for a little bit, but it was only really two guys. And then you had Nexus. Nexus was a good idea. It was poorly executed in the way that I think their attacks could have been more vicious. I'm not saying chair shots to the head or blood or anything like that, but use some chairs. Make it more believable because they just beat down the guy and stuff like that. And it was cool because it wasn't the normal, day-to-day WWE type of thing where we see the same thing all over again. It was different, but it could have been executed, a little better. Back to TNA, they need to stop with that. Okay, you can have a small group, a tag team like Beer Money. You can have stuff like that all the time. But enough with the Immortals, enough with Fortune, enough with these huge stables trying to take over the company and things like that. It was cool when it happened. It was good when it happened. Um, when Hogan and Bischoff came in, that was building. I think that was interesting. That also could have been executed a little better. But they did what they thought was right. It kind of worked. The ratings are up. Obviously, you can't really compare the TNA with WWE ratings-wise. Um, but the storylines in TNA also, the jump and the characters. One day they're face, the next day they're heel. They keep jumping back and forth. Enough of that. Just have heels and faces. Obviously, they have to change, but the WWE has their storylines figured out pretty much. They've been around a while. They might not be the best storylines or the most interesting, but at least they make sense. TNA, on the other hand, it's edgy and stuff like that, but I think they focus too much on the edginess because they know that's what people think that WWE is lacking, that edginess, that PG-14 type atmosphere, and they're trying to focus on that more, which is good. You should have some focus on that, but I think they're overdoing that, and they're completely missing out on the actual storyline. Now, I know a lot of true hardcore wrestling fans, they don't really watch for the storylines, they just watch for the actual good matches. If that's the case, go see ROH or something like that, okay? Really good matches. TNA, it's on TV. They should have awesome matches. They should PG-14. We need at least one wrestling company that does that. But they overdid that too. Too much blood. I don't want to see blood in every match, okay? Once in a while, in a match that calls for it, like a false count anywhere or steel cage type match, there has to be someone to make it believable, at least. In steel cage matches on WWE, there's no blood. There's really no violence in it. So TNA really needs to, calm down a bit on the blood and try to focus on the edginess and just try to focus more on quality storylines. The whole Angle Jarrett angle right now, that could be interesting. Um, it's reminiscent of the Hardy Edge type thing going on. So we'll see how that pans out. Right now, it's okay. It's iffy. Um, what I am excited for is TNA is actually going out of the Impact Zone, which I think is a very long time coming. You can't have a successful organization unless you move around and you showcase it, and the energy from an actual arena itself aids everything. People watching, they see the action, they see the energy that the crowd brings to it, and they think, wow, this is great. The impact zone, something happens, and you have a few claps because there's like what 200 people there. So they need to stop focusing on the impact zone. They need to start moving around like WWE. Now they don't have to go to those huge stadiums or anything, but go to arenas that you can get at least, I don't know, 6,000 people in. At least give us 6,000. The WWE, whenever they go somewhere, they have at least 12, 14, 17,000 on a Raw, on a SmackDown. TNA, they have maybe 200 to 1,000 people in the impact zone. I don't know how many people they can fit, and it's usually only on that one side. The other side is just where the camera is and stuff like that. You don't have too many people on that side. But go somewhere where you have over 4,000. That's all I'm asking, and that's what a lot of fans are asking. So I guess that's the show for right now. I'd love to continue. I just want to see what the ratings are, how it's received on YouTube. That's where I'm going to be focusing on. If you do enjoy it, great. Leave comments. Leave anything that you think I should work on. Please don't be overly critical, okay? If you don't like what I'm saying, that's cool. You don't have to tell me. I could see from how many people actually watch it, from the positive comments, if there are any. Also, I have to say, Chris Jericho, Undisputed, great book. I loved it. If I have to say there's anything wrong with it, is that he focused a little too much on Fozzy for my taste. I wanted to read about what happened backstage in WWE, which happens a little earlier in the book, which gets you in, but then after that, he keeps switching back and forth to Fozzy. Which there were some interesting stories there. It's just that I was hoping for more of a wrestling story. That's all for now. Again, thank you so much for watching. Please tune in next time.